Hey everybody, it's Jeff here once again with T-Werx and our C-Werx program for the Community-Werx section. And this is an exciting week because this is the week right before Amplify Austin. And for those of you that are not part of the Austin community, the Amplify Austin was started several years back. And the whole idea is for one special day per year, we pull the entire city together and we really support our local nonprofits. And there's a massive amount of fundraising that goes on this time of the year, and especially awareness. So I would encourage you, if you're interested in supporting our local nonprofits, go on to Amplify Austin, just search for it on Google, take a look at it, and then find what basically you're interested in and find an organization to support that. Today, we're gonna talk to one of our favorite organizations, Texas Humane Heroes, and their new executive director, Jeff Struchtemeyer. Always, please, right down below my feet here is our subscription button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because if you don't, you're gonna miss out on a lot of these really cool things that we put up. And we've been throwing up a few new things that we don't necessarily promote. You definitely need to be a subscriber to the channel. So Jeff, welcome.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you as part of basically our backdoor neighbor here. Tell us a little bit about Texas Humane Heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're celebrating 40 years this year at Texas Humane Heroes. Started in 1979. Okay. Sort of gone through some different transitional periods over those 40 years, but we have our location here in Leander and our second location up in Killeen.
Oh, congrats.
And so we've got some pretty big goals this year as our 40th anniversary. We're hoping to do 3,000 adoptions. We've got some great fundraising events coming up this year. So yeah, it's our Ruby anniversary, and we're really playing up that this year.
So talk a little bit about the adoption process with Texas Humane Heroes. How does that work?
Yeah. So we usually have anywhere between 350 and 400 animals on site throughout the month. We have a combination, of course, of dogs and cats, kittens and puppies as well. So really a good opportunity, a good selection of animals for those who are looking. We encourage individuals to come out, visit the animals, take a look and see what's available. So many times you see an animal and it almost sort of speaks to you, like that's the dog or cat for me. If you have other dogs or cats in the home, you know, certainly bringing your dog out, doing a meet and greet, making sure that they're going to get along is always important. And then, you know, you sit down and talk to one of our adoption counselors and they discuss with you really what's involved in owning a dog. You know, many of us have owned several dogs. I know I've owned 4 or 5 throughout my lifetime, but sometimes individuals are adopting a dog for the first time. So we talk a little bit about the expense that's involved in that. We want dogs to be sheltered well and in the home, and making sure that they're getting the regular care that they need, supporting individuals who are adopting in that area. And then we also offer our low-cost vaccination clinics once a month. So for those who do adopt a dog, it can be a little pricey sometimes. And so we offer those low-cost options for individuals who want to come back to us and continue to get that sort of routine care.
Okay. Now, do y'all do spaying and neutering before they're adopted, or?
You bet.
Okay.
So any animal that is part of our program is spayed or neuter before it gets adopted.
Got it.
We also offer low-cost spay neutering to the public. So every Tuesday, Thursday, we do appointments. You go to our website, texashumaneheroes.org. You can book an appointment, and if you've already adopted a dog but it has not been altered, you can bring it in and we can do that for you.
Nice, very cool. Yeah. So what's the typical cost for someone that's going to adopt from Texas Humane Heroes?
So we have different costs for different animals. If you're going to adopt a puppy, which is anything less than a year old, it's $175. Okay. If you're going to adopt an adult dog, that is $150. Okay. And then if you're adopting a kitten is $75 and an adult cat is $50. Okay. So a couple different price ranges there.
So it gives you the it gives you an incentive. Hey, the adults need to be adopted too.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. So how did you end up getting at Texas Humane Heroes? What's your history?
So my history is I've been in nonprofit for about 18 years. Okay. I moved to Austin to work for a very large national nonprofit, and I spent about 2.5 years there. Previous to that, all of my nonprofit work has always been in the sort of crisis area, suicide prevention, domestic violence. And so when I started sort of looking for another job, I decided it was time to pick something that was a little more uplifting and fun. Certainly working for Texas Humane Heroes brings a lot of joy.
Oh yeah.
We do see sadness with animals and animal cruelty cases when we go out and help pull dogs that have been involved in a hoarding case. But overall, there's a lot of joy that goes on seeing those animals come out of their shell and become, behaviorally very integrated with the shelter and then with the staff that work with them. And then ultimately, when they get adopted, we usually get photos and videos back once they're in the home, and just seeing their great new home life is really a joy.
Yeah. It's a very positive experience for you. And so talk a little bit about some of the challenges that y'all face. I mean, it's 300 to 400 animals at any given time.
So our budget is about $1.3 million this year. So, a little over $110,000 a month to run the shelter. And so most of that goes into staff costs, but we do have costs involved around, feeding the animals and medical care for animals as well. We rely heavily on volunteers. So recruiting volunteers who want to come and have a regular schedule. We have a lot of volunteers who come in the mornings during the week. That's our cleaning time. So when we open in the morning, the first 3 hours is walking the dogs, cleaning the shelter, and preparing them. So when we open at noon, everything's ready to go. So, most of the challenges are just, every day, making sure the dogs stay healthy. In the cold weather that we have right now, they can get upper respiratory infections, especially the puppies, keeping the heat on. Plenty of blankets for them to stay warm at night. All those are just challenges, and working through it every day. Yeah.
I know one of the most fun things we've done as a family, my wife and I, is during the holidays, y'all always have the ability for people to come out and volunteer and come out and play with the puppies and all that and play with the dogs during the holidays. And that's always fun, because then that lightens up a little bit on y'all's staff.
Right. So around the holidays, we do a program where we try to empty the shelter for the holiday. And so individuals will come out. They'll take a dog home for the 3 days. We still are in the shelter every morning cleaning, but it really helps that, we have over half of the dogs out and they're in a home for the holidays. And so that's a program we do every year. We also rely heavily on foster families.
Okay.
So if we have a mama that comes in right after she gives birth to her pup, we send them home with a foster family for several weeks while the puppies are growing and they're getting weaned off of mama, and then the mother will come back, get spayed neuter, she'll go up for adoption, and the puppies, once they're finishing up with their shots, they're available too. So we have a lot of foster families who come and help us out. Getting those dogs into a home and out of the shelter helps us tremendously with all the volume that we do.
Sure. So if I want to get involved, tell us how can we support you guys?
Well, of course, the best support you can give is by donating to Texas Humane Heroes.
As always.
And so if you go to our website, you'll find how you can donate. You just click on the donation page. We always accept monetary donations, but any type of donation, old sheets, old blankets, you can bring those by. We go through those heavily during the winter season. Distilled water for our autoclave machine for, sterilizing surgical instruments. Bags of food that are unopened, we take those in. Any old crates that you may have, we take those. But the best is to give monetarily. We've got great national contracts, and so individuals may want to go out and buy items that we may need. Typically, we can double that with the national contracts that we have. So we have a great national contract with Hill Science Diet. We spend less than $400 a month to feed all of our animals. So, while a bag of dog food is nice, we've got great national contracts to keep all that going.
Just give me the $15 and I can quadruple that.
Absolutely, sure. But in the winter, our heating bill is $1,800 because we have propane and we've got leaky buildings. It's almost $1,000 a month for electric. We're on well water, thank goodness, but it still takes the pumps to run the water. So monetary donations are great. I mentioned earlier our budget is $1.3 million. Over half of that, about $650,000, comes from donations and support from the community, and our board members who really promote the organization.
Very cool. So what's new? What's coming up here in the next, with Amplify, I'm sure you've got a big stuff going on with that, and something coming up this next weekend.
Well, first, next Friday at the Texas Stars game is our Chuck-a-Puck. So we'll be selling pucks in the stands to raise some money there. And then right away the next day on Saturday, March 2nd, is the 10th annual chili cook-off, which is on site at our location in Leander. It's a lot of fun. You can bring your dogs out. It's a very dog and family event, and we have quite a few participants already signed up to cook up their chili. Moving into May, on May 18th, we have teamed up with Doghouse Drinkery. We're having our first annual reunion where individuals who may have adopted from us come out to Doghouse Drinkery so we can see all those dogs that you adopted and visit and catch up with everyone else. Then October 5th is our gala. In this year, it will be up at Reunion Ranch in Georgetown. And so promotional materials will be coming out for that. It's diamonds and rubies this year, of course, because again, it's our 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
So those are just a few of the upcoming events that we have going on.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, folks, this is an amazing organization. They're right up the road. So tell us, Jeff, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah.
What's the best way?
Go to our website. You'll find us at texashumaneheroes.org. From our website, you can choose to volunteer. You can sign up there to volunteer. You can sign up to give. You can see all the animals that we have available for adoption. You can come out and visit us and just walk through and see the animals in the shelter and say hi. So we love folks to come out and visit. Large organizations such as churches or scouting organizations. They contact us because they would like to do group projects. And so that is always an option as well through our volunteer manager. Just call and ask for Alex, and we'll get you set up with different things that can go on.
Awesome. And y'all's location is what?
We are just down the street on Crystal Falls Parkway. So not too far from this location, but just off of 183 in Crystal Falls is our location.
It's closer to the Palmer side of, or the Ronald Reagan side of it. So.
Yeah, down towards Ronald Reagan. As you drive down, you'll see our big flagpole. We just put up a nice brand new sign. We have a great new van that we use to transport dogs, so look for that around the community. We're out and about picking up dogs and from other shelters. We pulled from 42 shelters last year.
Wow.
Over 3,000 dogs.
And you all are a no-kill shelter.
We are a no-kill shelter, absolutely. All of our dogs that we bring in are up for adoption and ready to go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for what you do for the community.
Appreciate it.
It's super exciting to have you part of our community here.
It's great.
We love to support the organization. So folks, if dogs and cats are your passion, this is a wonderful place to go. And I want to thank y'all. Get out here. Next week is Amplify Austin. Find your organization that you have a passion for and go out and support them. Go to whatever events they're doing. And Chili Cook-Off coming up next Saturday, so get on out there. So thanks a lot. We'll see you guys back here next week.